Lieutenant Senghor, commandant supérieur, Monsieur le ministre.
Merci beaucoup. Bonne continuation. Thank you for everything. On behalf of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and on behalf of all Gambians, the cabinet, all the institutions, we just came by to say thank you to the troops here representing the ECOWAS. It is customary that at some stage you have to visit your friends and find out what's going on, where they are, what they have achieved, what their challenges are, and you have a dialogue. And this was the purpose of my visit here as Minister of Defense. And the President is aware of it, his team, the leadership is aware that we are engaging Ecomig to first of all say thank you for coming. When we needed them, and they came into the Gambia, January 17th, 2017, the entire country welcomed them. There were no issues. Then, of course, during those times, that's when you have Honorable Halifa Sallah holding the fort, talking to the wall, and leading as a patriotic Gambian, and we all applauded him, and we should never forget those times. And it was just those difficult times that the President and the ECOWAS presidency, they decided that it's important to get something in the Gambia to keep the peace in the Gambia before it falls into a constitutional crisis or even a civil war, because it was a state of lawlessness at some stage. So presidents discussed, the AU discussed, they went to the United Nations, and Resolution 2337 was given. And that's what got Ecomig here to come and help their brothers and sisters in the Gambia. We don't want to forget that. And that's why the President said it's important to stop by sometimes to say thank you, find out where they are, what their challenges are, and both of us will map out the way forward based on international best practice. They came in at a time where we needed them, where we had over 40,000 Gambians or more that left the borders. Some of my friends, the Jufens, even carried their beds to move out. And then the ECOWAS presidency, including the Gambia leadership then, figured that it's important to save the country. We don't want the Gambia to fall into trouble. That's what brought Ecomig here. They came at the intervention phase. Knock on wood, they did pretty good. They're professional and they've done a lot of things discreetly that they are not blowing too much of their trumpets, but they've been doing a good job of securing some very sensitive areas and watching out for Gambia. And that will allow our armed forces to do their restructuring and fixing, and we are still doing that. They have moved from that intervention phase successfully. Everything went well. I think maybe there were issues. It could be limited. So we say, knock on wood, thank God. Now they've got to the stabilization, just like Colonel Ezi and the commander briefed me, to stabilize, protect the government, protect the leadership, protect the seat of government, make sure that the armed forces, the security forces, work with the civil authority to understand each other again, because there was a break, there was a change. And this is where we are. But where I'm going to conclude, it's not going to be too much, because I just want to register our appreciation and learn from our mistakes, however small or big, and then move forward. They have left their countries to come help. Like we have hundreds of Gambians now in Sudan, also helping. That's how the world works. Gambia cannot be an island by itself. We are part of the international community. And when we are in need, our countries in the ECO, they get up and they came to our aid, because they want the Gambia to be in peace like all other places around. So we are very thankful. Now, something I'm going to share. I am a retired, but I've been in this uniform before. There's what they call also, anywhere the armed forces go, there must be a withdrawal phase. So 3 stages: intervention, stabilization, and now they will be preparing a withdrawal stage. So we want people to be patient, to appreciate them, and to see how they can work together, so that when that phase comes, our armed forces and other security services will honorably take the security and stability of this country. So there is no need to do any shouting or any fighting or concentration. Majority of Gambians are very appreciative. Maybe a few may not understand, but that's life. But we are appealing to them to know that this Ecomig is here for the interests of the Gambia and nothing but the Gambia. The Gambia has not written a paycheck. Our friends helped us out to give us time to take care of our own homes, our country, because we had some issues. Everybody knows, no need to be repeating those things. It's open secret what happened. Everybody is hearing what was going on. But it is not time to stay on the problem. We have to move on. That's my philosophy. That's the philosophy of the president and the entire team, leadership, cabinet, everywhere. We promise that we need to move on. We cannot stay on the problems, fighting each other. The Gambia is too small for that. So we want to thank them. The withdrawal stage, inshallah, we congratulate them for a 6 months extension. We just came from Niger, maybe a few weeks ago, and they assess the situation, and they feel you cannot have now a very young baby trying to walk and you abandon them. So accompany them until they're a little bit strong. So they give another 6 months, and we say thank you to them. We are working with them, so our armed forces are moving also. So by the time that time is up, it is the presidents now who will come again and review the situation. So we want all Gambians to come together. Let us support each other. They are helping with the medical. They are in Bara at the hospital. They help everywhere the Ecomig is. They've been giving medical services to the communities. They're helping in some of the hospitals. Some of their doctors are working at the RVTH, at supporting our staff. They're also building some structures. But when they leave, inshallah, someday, it's our armed forces going to take over. They built a structure in Yundum where their people are staying. They built here extra, so there are a lot of good things happening. When they are paid also, they buy stuff. So economically, they're also helping us. So we want them to continue to be in peace with the population. Population should understand that these people have just come to help. And inshallah, we should say thank you. And someday they will also withdraw.
With the security sector reform.
Perfect. That also, let me tell, lolu du am benn bes, du am benn at, du am ñaari at. I'll be very clear. Suma len ko waxe nax duma len nax. Security sector reform is a continuous thing. It's a process. It's not an event. Am na dëkk yoo xam ne ñu ngi fii sori wuñ ñu lool dañ ko doon bugg a def yàkkamti ko dellu si nañ 3 times. There are countries who wanted to fast track their SSR and they got into problems. We don't want to repeat those mistakes. But very soon, we will do what we can. But it's a process. It's not going to be even complete. Could be in my time as minister. That's just the reality. I will do what I can. When the time comes, somebody else will do. Security sector reform is a continuous process. We are now at a process of promotions, restructuring, and also to orientate not only the forces, but Gambians to change their way of thinking, of negativity, of fighting, of jealousy, No, we want to be a civilized country where you have to be patient. Let's look at the bigger picture. It's not 3 months, 6 months, or a wall of sea, when you're talking, it's a fact. Let us calm down. Please, journalists, educate our population. Let us be patient. These things will continue, but things are getting better. Tomorrow, after tomorrow, they will see lot of little movements in the armed forces. We're also talking to them about their international justice, human rights. It's no more the regular armed force. It's the civilian oversight of the armed forces. We're educating our people. These are your brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. They're a reflection of the society. So whatever our forces look like, that's how we Gambians look like. Let us calm down. Let us prepare and think strategically. Let us not be sentimental or emotional to think 3 months or 6 months is going to hurt this country. We are fairly experienced people, and we are towards the end of moving out. We want to advise the people, if they take it, falillah alhamdu. But our advice is let them calm down. This process is not going to happen within a year or so, but a good progress will be made. And the people themselves will see very soon that things are improving. But it's not a one-day thing. We have a lot of officers around the world doing training. We've got slots at West Point, never happened before in the United States. We've got slots at Sandhurst, we had during our time, but they offer us some more. So these days, we already have 11 officers left for Turkey. There's a lot of doctors, lawyers, teachers training. But all these things now, the media will help us to explain to the population that all that is part of the reform. But the reform is not only armed forces. The reform includes SIS, police, immigration, drug squad, GRA, civil society. The population of the Gambia should also change their psyche. Before we used to fight among ourselves. No, now we're trying to reconcile, to learn from our mistakes, and be patient and do the right thing.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Just a quick question regarding the withdrawal of the ECOWAS forces from the Gambia. The question regarding when exactly it is going to happen seems sketchy from what I've listened just right now. We've seen the president of the Gambia actually made a request during the recent ECOWAS summit that he would like to prolong the stay of the Ecomig forces in the country. Now, a lot of people say that our own armed forces are disgruntled over the presence of these people. Now, that statement coming from the president almost seemed like adding insult to injury if these claims are true. As defense minister, how do you respond to these claims that our own armed forces are actually very disgruntled over the presence of these people in the country?
By the way, let me correct this. The armed forces is not disgruntled. That is misinformation, and it's a dangerous premise. No patriotic citizen should be thinking like that, because it's not true. It is not true that the armed forces are disgruntled. They need to withdraw that. That is not good for national security. No patriotic citizen should be thinking like that, because it's not true. I have interacted with them. I think morale has improved. They are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Over 100 of them have $1 million in their account. Those things never happened before. How can you be disgruntled if you just now get the opportunity to build a house, buy a car? If some of the people who are bachelors marry a wife, that person will not be disgruntled. Those people are saying are the figment of their own imagination. That's what they wish for the armed forces, for the country. So that is a no-go. It's the media who touched Rwanda and killed millions. We don't want to be in trouble in this country. This armed forces disgruntled is not good. Some may be happy, maybe a few, but that's life. We are improving their status. The president is very concerned with them. He's very confident. That's why he appoints a new CDS now. The other CDS is now ambassador, a deputy CDS, army commander. And we are trying to look at their accommodations and their logistics, their support. But Gambia is a small, poor country, and security is very expensive. But being disgruntled, that is a no-go area in our peaceful Gambia. They're doing their best. They're serving their country. They are patriotic Gambians. We are not a political party. There's nothing like disgruntled. So withdrawal, they said they extend 6 months. We should allow the presidents to review. We don't want what's going on in Mali and other areas. You don't want to be in trouble. And we want to warn the people and advise them. Gambians have been taking peace for granted. I'm saying it from experience. Let them calm down. When you don't want to be in trouble in this country, it's too small. And we don't have. We're even struggling to get medical. We're struggling to survive. We don't have the space to fight against each other. Let us work together, help each other, support our armed forces, accept the wrongs. A good person with a character, if you make mistakes, do not be in denial. Accept your wrongs, reconcile, repent, ask for forgiveness, and we come together as a country